Oh, I'm in Nairobi's industrial area. Na usijione na kibuyu udhani mafuta ndio yanaletea shida. Hapana. Actually, to you this might be plastic waste, but to somebody else, this is raw material for construction. That's right. On this week's episode, we are going to explore the recycling of plastic waste in construction of paving blocks. That's right. How strong are they? How durable are they? Are they cost effective? I'm Martin Githinji. This is Tujenge. Build it better.
Mato.
Ala!
Niaze.
Kumbe unakuwaga tops hivyo?
Ai, ile siku. Welcome. Niaze.
Mimi. Nimesema tumalize shughuli tusifanye kwa simu. Tuifanye tu live. Hii ndio maeneo.
Ndio maeneo.
Kuna kelele, kuna mahali tunaweza enda tuongee.
Twende kule nyuma.
Haya,
Pate silence kidogo.
Haya, lead the way.
So my name is Nzambi Mate, founder of Jijenge Makers Limited. Jijenge Makers, we produce and manufacture alternative building products. Our first product line are pavers made out of recycled plastic waste. We've been doing this now for 6 years. Out of the 6, 3 years was R&D, research and development. 3 years was now operational.
And where did the idea come from?
Yeah, okay, my background is in material science and engineering. So after I finished, I graduated from JKUAT. After I finished JKUAT, I found myself in the oil and gas business. I stayed there for about 1.5 years. Then I realized that's not my purpose in life. That's not what I want. Because I always wanted to be in the science space. So Wangari Maathai was the biggest inspiration for me. But unlike her tool of trade was activism. My tool of trade is science and technology. Plastic waste is an obvious problem, not just Kenya, but the whole world. So I decided I will not tackle plastic waste problem in the whole world. No, I'll just start in my community. So I started collecting plastic waste in my hometown in Kitengela. We'll collect plastic, we'll sort, we'll clean, we'll crush, and then we'll sell to recyclers. But then I realized we were collecting more plastic than we were selling to recyclers. So then that begged the question, what can we do with the remaining plastic? Hence, Jijenge Makers was born. So we make pavers right now, made from sidewalks, parkings, garages, footpaths. But by the end of this year, we'll actually build a house.
So which is the main source of your raw materials?
So we have two sources. We have what we call the post-consumer and post-industrial plastic waste. Post-consumer, we get it from the dump sites. This is and landfills and places, the ones which you and I finish using. This is an example of post-consumer. That's post-consumer. Juisha Tumika.
Yeah.
Post-industrial is this one. So this one is kama mafuta, zile mamitumiza mafuta. After they make, this is their waste. So now.
So does this mean then that you have all types of plastic waste? That
No.
ndio mnatumia yote kwa mchanganyiko. So plastic ni plastic.
Apana, not necessarily. We have 7 categories for plastic packaging industry. And out of the 7 categories, we use 4. So 4 ni hizi mitungi za mafuta hizo za maziwa, hizo zinaitwa HDP. Kuna LDP. LDP ni hizi mapapers za ukinunua kama gari ama TV, hiyo paper colorless.
Bubble wrap.
Hizo bubble wrap. Kuna nini PP. PP ni hizi take out containers. Hizo ni PP. So hizo ndo tunachangua pamoja. But kuna zingine kama PVC hizo hatutumii. So hii yote ni a combination of post consumer na post industrial waste.
So out of the 7 categories, wale wenye hufanya the picking, wao wanajua za kusort ni gani hazifai kukua, ama wanawaletea tu zote ni nyinyi mnazifigure out?
Hapana, wanazileta kulingana na kila kampuni iko na ile material type yake inachukuanga. So tukishazisort tuna clean, tunakuja hapa, hii inaitwa crusher. So tunaweka hapa, ina crushiwa hizi kama hizi lamps kubwa. Tunazikatakata zinakuwa ndogo, alafu tuna crush zinakuwa hivi. Kusudi ya kucrush is so that we can reduce the area. Because you see the plastic comes in different shapes, forms and sizes. We have to reduce it to surface area because we are combining it with an aggregate. An aggregate in this case is sand. Na pia sijui kama unakumbuka your high school physics.
Unanitesa, but go on.
Impurities increase the melting point, and they lower the boiling point.
Mwadhani unanirusha kwingine? Ulikuwa je iko? Mbosi nitesa.
Hapana.
Okay.
So hiyo kusudi ya kusema hivyo ni kwa sababu plastic na sand ziko na different melting points. So you have to create a homogeneous blend. So I'll explain to you more tukifika huko. But that's the purpose of this. Haya. So hii ni post industrial. So tukishakuja tumesha sort. Hapa ndo tunaziweka post industrial. And then kama hizo lamps, we have to crush them. So this is where we do the crushing. So for example, tukisha clean, we bring here This is called a crusher. So as the name suggests, kazi yake ni ku crush.
Huko ukiingiza mkono kibahati mbaya shwang.
Story imeisha hapo. Yes.
Tutafai kucheka, tunafaa kuwa tunalia.
But yes, unfortunately.
Haya, tuende sasa tuone
Sawa,
ukimix na changarawe.
Kuja.
So hapa ni what happen?
So
hata kama tumeikanyanga.
Hapa ni drying. Tunafanya because imeshasafishwa, iko wet. So tuna dry pigwe na
jua. So ikitoka kwa crusher it's wet.
Ikikujanga inakuanga wet. Tunaicrush ikiwa wet. Tunaweka hapa dry, alafu sasa tunaanza. Alafu zikidry zingine tunaweka kwa gunia ndo zisinyeshewe. So hizi zote zime dry. Hizi ndo sasa tuna process.
All right.
So, yes.
So hapa hivi ndio kwa maajabu. Unaniambia mnachanganyisha na changarawe.
So ukiangalia hii mixture ni ya plastic na sand. Unajua hii concrete, hii koroga ya kawaida ya kujenga. So hiyo koroga ya kawaida inaitwa Portland concrete. Juu inatumia cement as the binder. Kenya tunataka kuachieve inaitwa polymer concrete. So plastic peke yake ina melt at about 125 degrees centigrade plus minus. Aya, na sand ni silica. Silica ina melt at about 1200 huko. So what we need to do is we need to bring them in place yenye itakreta homogeneous blend. So ni plastic heat na hii sand ikuwe hot enough ndo icreate yo koroga yenye tunaita polymer concrete. Here you just mix them manually, and also if you want, because we make bricks of different colors. Right now we're just making for grey because the client wants the grey, but you can make any color you want.
Unatumia plastic na unatumia changarawe, but still iko mahali nje. Najua kuna wakati huamua kuchoma. So you said the UV
degradant agent
is the one that is helping you. Is it just the degradation or even the melting?
The heat yenye sun inapeana is not enough to melt this. Kwa sababu kumelt ni break bonds kabisa. That one you need really high heat.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So is there a measure of portions of plastic vis-a-vis the measure of portions for sand?
Yes. So it depends with your brick unaiweka hapi na hiyo soil hiyo area iko aje na because you know in Kenya and in Nairobi kuna different regions, kuna different soil types. But in average it ranges anything between 60-40, 30-70. 70-60 being the sand, 30-40 being plastic. Because remember, plastic is just a binder. So
plastic here is taking now the role of cement.
Exactly.
Okay. So the consumer raw materials you get from individuals, wale tumesema tunafaa kuheshimu sana, wanaenda kuziokota kwa the dump sites, landfills, etc. And then the industrial waste, do you buy from the industrial companies or?
No. So you see the companies are mandated by NEMA to properly dispose this waste. And right now kuna agreement to what you call, every company has to have what you call an extended responsibility partner. So what that an EPR partner, what it does ni waste yako kuna mtu mwenye handle and properly dispose. So that's where we come in. We become the EPR partners. For the plastic post-consumer plastic waste, now that one we buy because you know they have to do the logistic. Ya kwenda ku collect, kwenda ku sort, kwenda ku clean, alafu natulete. So we pay for that service.
Okay. Haya, sasa ingredients ndizo hizo. Tuko na kachangarawe kidogo, ka plastic. Tunaingiza kwa oven. So hii ndio oven yenu.
Yes, but the word you need to extruder.
Extruder.
Ina extrude. Ina push. Tukiweka hapo hivyo ndani, hapa katikati kuna barrel. Barrel ni kama pipe. So ina mix your plastic, ikihit na sand, mpaka inakuwa a homogeneous mixture. Alafu na remember nikikwambia hapa, so plastic melts at that's in its pure state, about 125 to maybe 200 degrees centigrade. Alafu sand ni to 1200. So zikikuja hapa zina melt at about zina mix at 400 degrees, 450.
Kwa hivyo inateremka.
Sand of course haiwezi fika huko juu, but plastic ndio inaletwa juu. Unajua hii sand ni kama jiko. Ushona venye watu wanapikanga keki na sand.
Yes.
The same concept.
Yes.
So inakuja.
So hii ni ya kuregulate the temperatures.
Hii ni kuregulate temperatures na kuangalia just the electrical element of it. Juu kuna the mechanical element and the electrical element.
Yani inaingia kama plastic na sand inatoka kama plasticine.
Bas, that is the word God anatumia. Hii Play-Doh or rather plasticine. Sasa ukiona imekaa kama ugali hivi. So hiyo plastic imemix pamoja, imeshikanisha hiyo changarawe. Sasa imeform ugali. Sasa hii ugali ndio inaitwa polymer na Portland concrete.
Yes.
Sasa hii ndio inaitwa polymer concrete. So ideally speaking, a process for every 3 minutes you produce 9. For every 3 minutes you produce 9.
Within 3 minutes
Yes.
from actually no, just in here.
Yes.
Just in here.
Hapa ni kama like 1 to like 2 minutes.
Within 1 to 2 minutes imesha melt.
Alafu pale hivyo inakaa maybe 2-3 minutes alafu inatoka.
So within 3 minutes it has to have come from here and immediately imeingia kwa this is I'm guessing a pressing machine.
Yes.
Yeah. Kwa nini atungojee okay ishakauka?
Exactly.
Siwezi kunja tena. By the way siwezi uma but okay.
Sasa kusudia kuharakisha ni isikaukia hapa.
Because now again the heat is not too high.
Yes, for it to
like iko at very malleable.
Exactly.
It just needs.
It's not as viscous, that therefore buying us time to cool down. As you can see, it's just slightly viscous. So you need to press it before ikauke.
I see that ni kupimwa inapimwa hapa.
So kila brick iko na size yake. Iko na light, medium na heavy duty. So depending on your brick gani tunataka, tunapima hiyo weight yake.
So hapo hivi wanapima how many?
So kama sasa hii brick tuna produce kuna ya 1.3, kuna ya 2 kilos, kuna 3 kilos ina depend. Hata kuna 5 kilos though hiyo tuna produce two ones. Kakubwa hivi.
Manufacturing goods from recycled and reclaimed materials has become quite popular in the last decade. Thanks to the new technology available, the quality and appearance of these goods is also improved. Plastics is one area where recycling has drastically developed. But how safe are they for our environment? Find out after the break.
So kutoka hapa hivi tunaingia sasa kwa hii contraption hapa hivi.
Press.
This is the press.
Yes, it's called a hydraulic press. And as the name suggests, kazi yake tu ni ku press. So the plastic after ishapimwa, so we put it inside here. This is called a mold. So what the mold does ni kushape. So unaona kama ukipika keki, unaona ama queen cakes, unaona hizo two chambers. So the concept is exactly the same. So what you do is you take the different quantities and then you feed. We have slots inside. Una feed in those slots.
How long should it stay in here? Ama hiyo haijalishi.
So the idea is hii process yote should take anything between 3 to 5 minutes. 3 the better, ndo umeona hapo mbele isikauke. Juu ikikauka inakuwa reject. Ikiwa reject inabidi umecrush tena uanze hiyo process.
Kuna molds zingine tofauti ya shapes zingine.
So you can make as many shapes as you want. Right now hii ndo tuko nayo because this is the popular brick kwa market. Kwa market ndio inakwambia ile unataka. But right now kuna ingine customer wameanza kudemand. So hiyo ndo the second chafani.
Okay. I see pipes. What are these for?
So these are cooling system.
What is doing the cooling? Is it water?
So the plastic, yes. Hii plastic ikikuja hapa iko at maybe 450 degrees centigrade. You need to lower it to room temperature. So how do you lower it to room temperature? You run water. So hii joint metal ni a good conductor of heat in a dissipate heat. Hiyo nini na reduce na kwa room temperature. But technically ikwangi room temperature, that's why we have a water bath. So hii inaweza rudi up to kitu 100 to 70 degrees centigrade. After tunaweka kwa maji, ndio sasa irudi to 25.
And this whole process, I mean, thinking that it's plastic, there's no risk of it cracking or breaking.
Yes.
Ama that has happened.
No. So what you do is because plastic is polymerous in nature. Polymerous ni kama kamba hivi. So ama glue. So ukipress hapa una chase away air pockets. Ukichase away air pockets unaona hakuna tushimo. So hizo tushimo inaifanya ikuwe less brittle. Haivunjiki rahisi. No wonder ukiangusha hapa saa hii.
I've waited for this part. I have waited for this part. Kuona kama itavunjika. Haya,
chagondoke.
Ni simiti imevunjika. Haya, hiyo plastic imevunja simiti.
Plastic imevunja simiti.
Na ni ngumu vimeja. Oh, very nice. It's still a bit warm.
Yes, so lazima cool. Hii process inaitwa curing. Lazima cool. Sasa irudi to room temperature. And then tutaifanyia finishing, alafu tutaweka kwa storage.
What kind of finishing?
So ni ku remove the edges. Unaona kama hii hapa hivi kwa mold kuna overflows. Overflows ndio hizo zenye sasa ndo atina na nani chalo anatoa.
So hizo wanatoa
hizo ndo overflows. Hiyo ni kusudia because chuma kwa chuma zinakulana, kuna friction inaacha space. So lazima tutoe overflow. So after this we come here.
This is the final product.
Yes. So this one hapa hivi ni storage tu. Kusudi hapa ni ikisha hapa na cure na ndio tunaweza transport. So plastic the benefits zake kwa sababu ya kuweka hapa ni tuweze kuzibeba once. Badala ya kubeba kiasi kidogo kidogo.
But ideally hakuna process nyingine ati ina go through ati hakuna ati kukauka tena.
Kukauka sasa hiyo. Sasa anything else tena kufanya kwa site. Yes. Juu kwa site ndo sasa utakata kulingana na ile shape za edges, unakata kulingana na ile shape unataka. Kama kuna any lane unafanya iko ndo itadetermine sasa.
Why should I use these what do we call them? Plastic bricks?
Pavers.
That's the name you've given them, pavers. Why should I use them? Tuende hapo nje uniingize box.
Sawa.
So before hata uniingize box zaidi, there is something that you mentioned that kuna mahali cost inakujia.
Yes.
Where was that?
What has the value is the logistic cost. Because you see plastic waste is not in one place. Iko imetapaka kila mahali, especially post consumer.
Yeah.
So lazima mtu take energy, time na resource yake aende akafanye gathering. So hiyo kugather vis-a-vis the value you get kwa market like the rate, it's very low. So in fact I think, and this is if this is the part where unaitanga naomba serikali, this is the part where anaweza sema tu wakatusaidia na subsidies za especially logistic hapo tu ndio the hard part of it.
And in terms of cost, how much for example would I buy one of your pavers?
So we sell per unit square meter, and it ranges depending on the color you want, the size you want, but in range it's anything between 700 shillings to 2,000 shillings. It depends on how much unataka customize.
In terms of acceptance, how widespread is it? Watu wamekubali. Umesema ndio it's a new product, but watu wameichukuliaje so far kwa market vile umeiona?
Let's just summarize by saying our challenge is not demand, our challenge is supply. One thing we really benefited from when during this COVID period, for us it was actually a blessing in disguise. In the context that because people were forced to move and start working from home, you find that people who ideally speaking needed to do home renovations didn't have time before. But now because they're forced to stay at home, they kind of now see those projects and they have the time. So we took that advantage and started servicing a lot of B2C market. That's business to customer. So the whole of 2020 and 2021 we were focusing on the B2C, business to customer. And now this year we are now expanding to B2B, which is business to business. This is mostly construction companies. Yes, and other like organizations that want their pavers.
What do you feel so far from a research and development is the environmental impact of what you're doing?
So for us what we do is we consider ourselves like the vultures in this plastic pyramid. Si ndo wale tunachukua ile kakasile ya mwisho yenye mtu hawezi tumia tena. Hiyo ndo sasa tunachukua. Ideally speaking, in buying it more time. Because you know plastic, the challenge with plastic waste, it's not the plastic itself, but how long it takes to degrade. And because it takes long to degrade, we ideally speaking make pavers to, there's this concept called carbon trapping. So using the same concept, to buy this plastic more time, it performs a function while it degrades.
Have you been able to make the pavers do other than just the pavements? Do you have walls? Are we going to get to where you have walls? Are you going to get to the point where you have roofs as well?
Yes, so you can actually make roofs. Right now, it's just a change in mold. But yes, right now as we speak, we have prototyped a house. So we're actually using the pavers themselves. We will build, it was a storehouse for children's storage, PE, like kits. So the idea was just to test and see, okay, how does the brick fare, what is the social economic impact and what is the economics around it. But what we'll be doing and targeting right now as we speak, it's still in the works. By the end of this year, we target to build a house. because our goal is to target affordable housing. Because if you do a cost analysis of a project, about 60 to 65% of the cost implication of a construction project goes directly to materials. So if you can be able to reduce that, then, and also reduce the time, we can be able to significantly reduce the cost. We wanted, first of all, to learn the tech and also to learn how the product interacts within the environment you're working on. But by the end of this year, inshallah, we'll be able to make a house.
So unaambia mtu mwenye amekuwa akijenga na bricks, acha kutumia bricks, atumie plastic. Plastic ni kitu cheap bana. Mko nini?
One of the ways we do market awareness and customer education ni wajue, in addition to the physical properties in terms of the brick being stronger and of course cheaper and lighter, we also want to see the impact we have, the overall impact we have for the environment. And this we don't want to do it, we don't want to romanticize it. We don't want to do it equal like a checkbox, ile yenye unasema buzzwords. We actually want to we want to walk the walk and talk the talk. So with that element, e-plastic, if we don't use it, it's literally going to the dump site. So it's either this or that. There is no middle ground. And the idea is, how can we extract as much value from this material? Because personally, as a scientist, I believe this is a material plastic is a material that is a bit misused. Maybe in the 100 years, 150 years ago, it was a cutting edge technology. I can say with so much confidence, there is no industry that plastic has not impacted, both positively and negatively.
True.
And we have a lot to give. We have a lot of thanks to give to plastic, especially within the logistics. Because I can say the reason why we are able to get products at the price we have, especially in the like soft drinks na vitu kama hizo, it's because the logistic cost, there's minimum wastage and minimum loss. So with that said and done, that hatuwezi kuwa na ile the thought that you use to make a problem, you don't use the same thought to get the solution. You need another thought altogether. And this is us taking our step, one step at a time, a brick at a time.
Ah, nice.
Are these plastics really safe for our environment?
When you use recycled content in your building project, rather, you are essentially minimizing the need for newly extracted building products. So you are ideally stopping the excessive production of new materials. So when now coming down to the plastics, then we are looking at ensuring that you now also look at what do they have a mark of quality, for one, because the coronavirus pandemic definitely taught us that indoor environmental quality is a big issue. So you also don't want to be a consumer who's buying just any other product that doesn't have like a measure of quality. Recycled plastics have a very good impact on climate. As I'd mentioned, when you recycle content, it means that you're creating renewable resources from otherwise non-renewable resources. Because if, for example, let's take a building material like the exterior paving blocks. When you look at the recycled plastic exterior paving blocks, then that means you're not using what the baseline would be in terms of cabro made from concrete or fired clay. That means you've reduced the amount of energy needed to produce these products that you're using, and you've also lowered the CO2 emissions.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Karibu.
I'm Anne Modoni. I'm the program coordinator, Mukuru Skills Training Center. Here we train youth from Mukuru with different vocational skills training. The center was started by Sisters of Mercy in 2003. Yeah, we've been running until now.
So from the conversation I was having with Nzambi, she mentioned that there was a problem that she identified here, and she had a solution for it. Take us through that.
One time it was raining and we didn't have any pavements, but we had what we call commonly kokoto. So as they were walking in, it was very muddy. So with their shoes, because the soil here is cotton, they would carry all the kokoto around, so it will be too difficult walking. So she came and told me that she has started a company of making the pavers, whether we would be interested. So we invited her to come and show us. First she came with them, we had a look at them, and I couldn't believe when she explained the process of making the pavers. Yeah, then I told her she has been a long-term friend to the organization and to our youth here. So she came and we did the pavers. And since then I can tell you the number of students went up. And even the feedback we got from the student was very good.
Ngoja, yani because of this, the number of
Because of
students
this,
went
ndio,
up.
yeah. See, it changed the face of the organization.
This is true.
They were saying at least in that school, because there are other colleges out here, but for this one, there's nowhere you're encountering with mud as you walk around.
Unless uko kwa field.
Unless you go kwa field.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it lifted that, and then the feedback we were getting was positive about the pavements, and we thanked the Jijenge very much for that partnership and the support that they gave us.
With this information concerning plastic recycled material use, whenever you think of throwing away that plastic bottle, think twice. Keep it. You might produce a few plastic tiles for your house. My name is Martin Githinji. See you next week. Same place, same station. Oh, see you at a different place, same station. This is Tujenge. Build it better.